Sean?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah.
This is GDC, and we already success, and we have questions. Want to confirm. Uh, as we know, in the MobileFirst adapter, there's already a tab called the HTTP adapter. It's based on the JavaScript. Uh, we just want to confirm what's the benefit of the Java adapter and invoke the HTTP request and just use the HTTP adapter based on the mobile based on the MobileFirst. You know.
Yeah, that's a good question. So you're right. If the backend API is very straightforward and robust and mature, then you could do that. You could use the JavaScript adapters. But I think companies like Volkswagen are anticipating that their REST services, their enterprise REST services, are not either mature enough or whatever to have that just straight kind of pass through from a JavaScript adapter. They're anticipating some code would need to be written in the middle to do. I'll give you an example. One of the things they said was that they don't have filtering. And so they're anticipating that there might be filtering, there might be aggregation, meaning a single adapter calling multiple APIs with a single adapter call, and orchestration, meaning, hey, I got to go get a vehicle, but first I need to do a dealer lookup, get some data from the dealer, and then supply that data to the second API call to the vehicles. So I think they're anticipating that it's going to be more complex than what the out-of-the-box JavaScript adapter capability provides. And so that's why even though in the case that we're showing, maybe you could do it that way, but I think they're anticipating more development than that.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And that's good to hear that you guys are good to go. You got everything working. Okay, I think I'm ready to push this up to the Bloomberg site. Just test it on mine. Okay. I'll add some more detail to this, but this will get you started. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. Okay, I'm going to push that right now. So, okay, that's on its way. So give that about 30 seconds and that'll be up there. And I put the assignment up there, but essentially the current solution fulfills two user stories: get all vehicles and get a single vehicle by VIN number. Your assignment is to fulfill two additional user stories: get all dealers and get a single dealer by dealer number. A dealer has the following properties: name and number. Okay. So this is I pushed it up there, but it's done uploading, but it's going to have to recycle the app. So just give it another 20 seconds or so here, and then you'll be able to refresh your page. And I'll go ahead and share my screen. By the way, if you want to try this where you push your app up to Bluemix, feel free to go ahead and sign up for the free trial, and then you're going to install Cloud Foundry, and then they make it pretty easy once you have that. They give you a starter app that shows you what the configuration is, and then a few commands. Okay, so that's up there now. Let's see if that, yeah. So I put the assignment on module 2B. So I just put it right down here. Lab assignment. So if you click that, it just says what I just said a minute ago. Any questions about this? So I've given you a good template to go by. I like doing things in a certain order. So what I always do is I go to Bluemix first, because that represents the enterprise API. I go ahead and author the API there, and then I come back and write the adapters. And remember, and I'll add some more detail to this, but the adapter should give an intuitive way to get to the routes. So if you have more questions about that, let me know. But if you remember at the beginning of our block, in the first hour, I told you remember something that Rich pointed out. So that may give you a hint on how you might structure that. But any questions about the assignment? Okay. Sorry, I had to plug my Mac in. Oh, okay. Was it Charles?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so where I would start is in REST routes. That's where I would start. Actually, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do something. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to actually do a lab just for me. But you guys are far too quiet. If you have a question, please post it on a link or just turn your mic on. Or if you're lost, even say, Sean, I'm lost. So everybody have a kind of an idea of how you might do this? Since I've given the assignment, I haven't heard anything. So so far on these labs, silence has been golden, so I hope that's the case. I'm going to tackle an advanced topic while you guys are working on that. But it's more for Bluemix, not for MobileFirst. But if you get the solution that fulfills those additional user stories, if you have something to show, please ping me on link and say, "Hey, Sean, let me share my screen." Okay. Is there anyone out there? Charles, Richard, GDC, Krishna.
Yeah, the GDC is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're out here.
Tell me what's going on. Are you guys thinking about and trying to implement the user stories?
Yeah, I'm just learning. I don't have an environment set up for debugging JS files.
Okay. Ah, that's a good thing.
Is anybody running into any issues so far on either the back end or MobileFirst?
Hey, Charles, this is Sean. I didn't earlier when I did this. So yeah, I'm interested to see how are you faring?
I've got it working.
Oh, you got it working. Okay. Awesome. I'm going to give everybody just a few more minutes, but I'd like to actually have you share your screen and walk us through your solution. Does anyone else besides Charles have it working? Okay. Let's do this. Let's give it another 5 minutes, or we'll go to 40 after the hour. And then Charles, if you don't mind, I'd like to have you share your screen and share with us what you did, okay?
Sure thing.
Okay, cool. Charles, while we're waiting, what I'm working on is the Java code for JAX-RS. I really like these annotations. I mean, they're good and bad. I do like them though, and you know, I like how there's just magic that happens behind the scenes that maps the routes coming into to these things. But then when we call our backend, we use query parameters. So what I'm trying to fix is that. I don't like that. You can definitely do it in Bluemix, so I'm just looking up how to basically have the same RESTful type interface for the backend.
Yeah, it should be able to just change your, go ahead and take your path, will be the same, but then you'll have an optional query param on the annotation. So here, let me.
Well, no. I'm not talking about Java. I'm talking about Node.js.
Oh, Node.js. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it out on Java. That was great. And what I'm trying to figure out is doing the same thing on Node.js. And I think this is the syntax right here.
Yeah.
But I can't seem to get it to work just yet. So that was my bonus question. It just doesn't seem to be honoring that just yet. So. I mean, I could parse the path, but I think I've seen examples where they put like a colon, then the variable name, and that becomes the parameter, and it maps it to a query parameter for you. But anyway, it's not important, but it just bothers me a little bit. Okay, so Charles, why don't you go ahead and grab the the screen share, and let's take a look at what you did. And I appreciate you letting us put you on the spot here. Ah, great. Krishna also. Perfect. So Krishna, get ready because you're going to go next. But Charles, can you go ahead and grab the screen share? Charles may have stepped away for a second.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So let's. All right. Yeah, I started looking at that API-X. I had to undo my stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so start sharing. All right. So probably the first thing I did was basically go straight to the back end, make sure I have my data set up and that I can pull that data. Since it was also the weakest part from my side. So I went ahead and I created a new REST dealers. So I have from last night, we have our REST routes, which has all of our vehicles and the vehicle code. And then I added an additional REST dealer, which has my dealers data in it and is listing on REST dealers list. So I kept the same URI. Instead of vehicle identification number, switched everything over to a dealer identification number, or DIN. And I keep everything as similar and quick plug and play as possible. And then dummied up some data of ABC, BCD, CDE, EDF. So straight through, and then numbers 1, 2, 3, and 3 numbered increments from 1 to 10. So I have enough data in there I can start testing with. Same method, similar method as we've done with our VIN number, just doing the same concept with our DIN number, identifying the dealer and returning that particular item. That starts up, and if I go to Postman, it will identify. I can hit dealers list, vehicle list, and if I want a particular one, did I undo that too much?
Oh. Okay, you just solved the problem. You just solved the problem that I was trying to solve. But yeah, you did undo that one many times.
Yeah. So I'll put this back.
Oh, I see. Okay, there you go.
We'll move that back. Yeah, trying to work that out. So
yeah,
DIN of 1, 2, 3, DIN of 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I would have done. The only thing is, if you go back to that dealer routes.js,
Yep.
It's just an oversight. If you go to the top, on line 15 and also on line, yeah, that probably should say get dealers.
Yep. Yeah.
But it works. It just, refactoring. Some refactoring some future time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, Charles. Go ahead. Take us through the rest.
All right. So now that I've got that, I kind of prove out, okay, I've got my URI and query string parameters figured out. And then move over to our adapter. So within the adapter, unless we really want to utilize a secondary adapter so that we have a path of and move the API adapter such, we have to have a root path.
Hey, Charles, can you double click that tab to make that full screen?
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, so to give everything a lower path, split out to API, kind of looked at whether we want to do a similar path, just move everything down one level in the URI, or actually could create a secondary adapter. So you've got your API adapter, well, you could have a vehicle adapter and then a dealer adapter to split that out if you, depending on what your API direction, your URI direction is for this. So since we already got a glimpse earlier into the /API path, go ahead and utilize that.
Yeah.
By adding this /API up here, that then forced me to define a /path or a path for /vehicles on our what was the default method for get all vehicles, and add /vehicles to our bin. Then next step is essentially to clone our existing methods so that we have a /dealers for get all dealers and does a get on our dealers list on the back end, and then a dealer/din which gets the dealers and passes the query string parameter of din in to get the response. And if we show that working, we have our existing vehicles. Our existing vehicles with a VIN number happens to be two entries with the same VIN number in our data. Go to dealers to get all of our dealers. And if I want a particular dealer, I can do any 3-number combination that I have in my data.
Okay, perfect. That's great, Charles. Great job. That's exactly what I'd have done. So that was perfect. And I like the way you described it as well. Okay, Krishna, let's switch to you. Maybe you can share your screen. So Charles will give his screen up, and then Krishna, you'll take control.
Okay.
And maybe you can walk us through the same.
Okay. I have a feeling I'm going to make Charles look really good here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we all like to do that. Charles is he's a rock star, so we like to make him look good.
Because after seeing his implementation, mine just looks really, really hacky.
But hey, maybe there's some nuggets we can learn. So
okay, I just started out with REST routes and implemented all of the stuff, picked it up from the vehicle implementation, and just implemented a couple of dealers here. And just switching everything from VIN to number and looking up the number if it's passed as a parameter and returning those back if they're found.
Hey, are those actually like dealers in car dealers in your city?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I just could remember 2 names off the top of my head, so I just put those in.
Yeah.
And then back to the adapter. in the adapter, I just filtered for had it cater for vehicles and dealers. So this is kind of bad. I just realized this because I could filter with both vehicles and dealers as the lower root and get dealers and vehicles. Like I'll just explain later. And coming to the implementation for dealers, it's just I just used whatever was present for vehicles and implemented the same stuff, just renaming most of the methods. And yeah, coming to Postman. So I since I filtered the lower with dealers and vehicles, I should like type it twice here.
Okay.
So yeah, here we go. We get the dealers, but the problem is I could like switch it with vehicles and still get dealers. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
But pretty much the same thing. You took care of your back end. You made sure that you could fulfill the request, and then you switched over to your adapter, and you implemented the additional routes, and yeah, that's a minor change to fix that route. So
yeah.
But yeah, perfect. Okay, excellent.
Yep.
Well,
Thanks.
That's what I had for tonight. Any questions before we go into the weekend? Now, we can thank our friends at the GDC for not having a session tomorrow because this is their Friday, so they're already thinking about the weekend, I guess. So we won't have a session tomorrow, and our next session is on Sunday night, which we can also thank the GDC for because that's their Monday morning. But anyway, so any questions before we wrap it up here tonight?
Did you get your Node.js working with the URI printer?
No, I didn't. I'll take that for action, and also to make sure that the modules are ready for Sunday and Monday night.
So I've got that working now.
Oh, you have it working. Oh, well, listen, do you want to show it real quick?
Sure.
That's a beautiful thing.
All right, so
this was an advanced topic. You know how we have this really nice REST interface for our adapter. I was asking Charles, wouldn't it be nice to have a similar interface for our backend, for our Bluemix app? And the way we had implemented it initially was using kind of an old school query parameter technique, but now Charles is going to show us the better technique.
all right, so it really comes down to it's very simplistic in your colon and then give it a particular variable name works, but then it switches to params /din. So in this case, I'm doing the din is still my parameter and my variable. The difference here, as I will undo, is query. So it goes from a query din to adding the din to the path and switching over to params.
Okay, that's where I went wrong. I knew it was that colon syntax, but it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And the reason it wouldn't work is because I was still using query instead of changing that to params.
So then that gives me the capability to now have a path param capability for my Node.js, and then going back over and switching from the query string to just appending the URI.
Okay, that's amazing. That's fantastic. That was worth the extra 2 minutes of time. Thank you, Charles. That's huge. So we'll include that in our future labs for next week, because that's a big deal. Okay, so thank you, Charles, for that. Any other comments or questions before we wrap it up tonight? Okay, well, listen, I want to wish everybody a great weekend, and we will see you on Sunday night.
Huh?
Thank you, you too.
Thanks, John. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, John.